Hi, my name is Monica Yearwood and I am the founder of Hamsa Ayurveda Center, and this is my video tutorial on 3 of my favorite methods for cleansing. Ayurveda is an ancient healing modality and lifestyle system from India that is over 5,000 years old, and it teaches important cleanse methods that should be done on an ongoing basis in order to enhance and maintain vitality and health in both the body and in the mind. So when we first come to Ayurvedic cleansing, many of us ask, well, how do I become toxic in the first place? And to fully understand the answer to this question, we have to redirect our attention just for a moment to the digestive process. So Ayurveda really embraces and emphasizes the importance of digestion. And when we speak about digestion in Ayurveda, we're not just referring to the physical process of digesting food, but the process of consuming and digesting through all of our senses. So through what we see, taste, touch, hear, smell, and feel. So digestion, strong digestion, is the ability to retain the nutrient from what it is that we're consuming and effectively expel the waste. When this process is compromised for any reason, and we're not able to do that, we can become toxic. We can accumulate emotional toxins, mental toxins, as well as physical toxins. So what compromises our ability to do that? A wide variety of things can compromise our ability to digest well. But most commonly, it's when we follow diets that are not good for our constitution, when we're underneath chronic stress, or when we go through a sudden trauma. All of these things can compromise our ability to digest and therefore lead us into a path of toxicity and compromised digestive abilities. So what are the common symptoms that tell us when we need to follow a detoxification program? We have some of the more obvious symptoms, such as compromised digestion, so irritable bowel syndrome, gastroreflux disease, chronic constipation, chronic loose bowel, are all signs that we need to cleanse and detox. And then we have some less obvious symptoms, such as irritability, criticism, chronic fatigue, depression. Sometimes those aren't associated necessarily to the need to detoxify, but in Ayurveda, our emotional well-being is very much connected to our physical well-being. And then there are also the symptoms of physical pain, not related to physical injury, swelling, joint pain, can all be symptoms that detoxification or cleansing is indicated. Ayurveda emphasizes both lifestyle practices and stronger purgation methods to be done at certain times of the year in order to cleanse the body regularly. So the lifestyle practices are things that we all should be doing on a daily basis. And those include things like the neti pot, scraping the tongue first thing in the morning with a tongue scraper, dry skin brushing, the application of specific oils, drinking a warm glass of water first thing in the morning. Those are some of the daily methods that we use to cleanse the body. And then Ayurveda teaches that there are these more intense purgations that should be done at specific times of the year. And those would be things like fasting or going on a restricted diet or practicing some type of calorie restriction in order to cleanse. Also, enemas are used, specific types of laxatives, herbal programs, sort of these deeper purgation and cleanse methods that really require you to pull back from your daily lifestyle responsibilities and are only reserved for these certain times of the year. Which leads me to my next point, and another reason why I'm really a huge fan of Ayurveda is because of its emphasis on preventative lifestyle measures. It really teaches how to put into place healthy lifestyle practices prior to engaging in a deeper detoxification regimen. Too many times as an Ayurvedic practitioner will I see someone want to do or go ahead and do a very intense cleanse program like a juice fast or something. And when those healthy lifestyle practices are not put into place, it's like a rubber band effect. You know, it's like intense oppression just leads to intense expression, and the person goes the other way, and it leads to a binge or something like that. So these lifestyle practices that Ayurveda teaches that we should be doing on a daily basis really provide the strong foundation so that we can go into these deeper dives at specific times of the year for cleansing the body in a much deeper way. Okay, so now we come to my 3 favorite methods for Ayurvedic cleansing. And most everybody can do this without some type of consultation. They're very safe and yet profoundly effective. Some of them are effective enough to produce what's known as a healing crisis or a healing reaction. This is when you decide to go on a detox and cleanse the body, and as you're detoxing, your body starts producing unpleasant symptoms. So the most obvious example that I can think of is when you're drinking coffee regularly and you decide to quit drinking coffee and you get a headache. That essentially is a healing crisis or a healing reaction. So your body is producing a symptom that is not pleasant while your body is going through withdrawal essentially from a certain substance. So that can happen while you are doing these cleanse practices, and even the next 3 ones that I'm going to bring up. And so some of those symptoms can be things like headache, fatigue, nausea, the desire to sleep, irritability, sadness, physical symptoms like acne, breakouts, digestive changes. Certainly, whenever we change our diet, we will usually see digestive changes occur with it. It's just a change in how we're feeding the bacteria in our gut, and that can produce a lot of different symptoms like gas, bloating, etc. So how we deal with these symptoms, it really depends on the context. If you are working with a practitioner, he or she can certainly help you with using certain herbs to help mitigate some of the symptoms. If you feel like you can handle some of this on your own, using spirulina or barley grass or some type of algae-based green can really help with cleansing and relieving some of these symptoms. Water enemas can also help to relieve some symptoms associated with cleansing or detoxing. And then also, if it's really, really strong and you have to keep functioning in your day-to-day life, then we may recommend, or I may recommend, consuming a slight amount of whatever it is that you were detoxifying. So, for example, having a piece of bread can relieve the symptom. It may just be that you've cut it out way too fast. So we talked earlier about how Ayurveda emphasizes digestion and it being a vital process in protecting the body and the mind, for that matter. Ayurvedic nutrition, actually, much of its focal point works to address the digestive tendencies that are inherent to the doshic constitution of the individual. And then we use the diet to help mitigate those tendencies. So that is also a very interesting subject that I won't digress upon too much in this video. But keeping digestion is very, very much important. The lifestyle and maintaining our vitality and our health. When we are consuming food, and the food enters the stomach and the small intestine, a very vital and magical thing happens where our digestive fire, our Agni, extracts the rasa, or the essence, from the foods that we're consuming. And this is a very beautiful word, rasa, that appears a lot in the Ayurvedic literature. That means essence or taste. So it extracts the rasa from the foods that we're consuming. And this rasa goes on to form the first tissue layer in the human body, which is also called rasa, and it's our plasma. It's the plasma or the lymphatic fluid. So this is the first tissue layer according to Ayurveda. So we can experience many different stagnations and compromises of our lymphatic system. And when that happens, we can experience a wide variety of symptoms, such as water retention, swelling of all kinds, mucus conditions, sinus issues, postnasal drip, allergies, chronic headache, sore throat, skin breakouts, etc. So we always want to be maintaining the health of our lymphatic system. One way that we can do that is through dry skin brushing. And I have a link to that on my blog if you'd like to learn more about that. And another way, which is one of my favorite ways, is to sip hot water through the day. This is a very popular, if I dare say so, Ayurvedic method for keeping the lymphatic fluid moving and draining properly. And so you just sip about a quarter cup of hot water every 15 minutes throughout the day, all day long. And you will experience this flushing effect as it removes and sort of cleans out the inner working of your plumbing system. If you find that at the end of the day you're still feeling very, very thirsty, then we suggest that you do it again for the next day. And you can also add a little bit of lemon, squeeze lemon to your hot water. You can also add a little bit of basil or fenugreek seed to increase the heat and the stimulation of this cleansing beverage. Or you can just drink it straight, plain hot water. And most types for just 24 to 48 hours are okay adding some of those more heating spices to the hot water itself, but it's a powerful drainage to the lymphatic system and cleansing practice. My second favorite method in Ayurvedic cleansing is the emphasis on eating dinner as the supplemental meal of the evening. So Ayurveda teaches that we should all eat regularly at regular times each day. It doesn't have to be down to the exact minute, but around or within the same hour. And even doing that in and of itself helps to regulate digestion and regulate the circadian rhythms of the body. But to get a more cleansing effect, you can really lighten your dinner meal. And by doing that, you really relieve the digestive system of the burden of digesting food so late at night. Ayurveda teaches that digestion is something that's strongest midday, and its strength continuously decreases as the day goes on. So one of the worst things that we can do, although sort of counter to many of our societal practices, is eat a really heavy late night meal. And even worse than that is eating a heavy late night meal and then going to sleep shortly thereafter. So the food is left to sit in the gut and digest and ferment and produce all sorts of toxins. And when that happens, it's not good. It's not good. So we want to favor a very light and easy to digest evening meal. And so that could mean something that is low in calorie, such as a bowl of soup during the fall and the winter, or even a salad during the summer season. And it could also mean that if you are out socializing with friends and with family, just eating a smaller portion than what it is that you normally consume. I always say to my classes and my students that it would be great if we could switch the model here in America that it's like you go to these restaurants at the lunch period and they have the half portion for lunch and then they feed you the full portion for dinner. And it's like those two things should be switched. But until we get society to, follow our way, we can implement the change ourselves. So eating that smallest meal for your evening meal can be profound in regulating your weight and strengthening your digestion and enhancing your metabolism and giving you some ongoing cleansing and detoxification relief on an ongoing basis. And my last favorite method is, of course, meditation practice. So Ayurveda and yoga teach that every single person has a unique purpose, a dharma, a dharma. So when we realize our dharma, or as we're realizing our dharma, our purpose becomes more and more clear, and we start to align with the universe in manifesting what it is that we want to manifest and realizing our dream. And, or if it's not that our dharma, our purpose is the realization of some huge dream, at least, and even more importantly probably, is that we have the experience of an inner knowing and self-trust that we are on the right path and that we are fulfilling our duty. So sometimes, for some of us, the ability to perceive our dharma is clouded by the different marrings of the mind. So the different debris that sort of floats in the mind, and we can't see through it. So maybe we're in a confusing relationship, or maybe we've been underneath so much stress, or maybe we've just never really been on our own path, and we've done things that other people want us to do for so long that we don't know who we really are anymore. Whatever the causes can be, the mind is a tricky little animal. We can't quite see through it at some times, and we can't see what our true purpose is. So the practice of meditation helps to let all the debris in the mind settle so that we can see our true nature. We can see our individual purpose. It helps to detoxify and cleanse all of the debris of the mind, all of that confusion, so that we can see with true and clear perception. And there are many different methods of meditating, and I suggest that you find a teacher who can help you develop a meditation program that works for you. So don't be stopped. If your first impression of meditation is that it's too difficult or it's too hard, maybe you haven't found the right technique that works for you, or the right teacher that can help you learn. So thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope that you are empowered and find these 3 methods of cleansing useful for you on your practice and in your path. Namaste.